to the With Mates podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Catch Up. But ladies and gents, this is a very old special episode of the Catch Up because this is our spoiler heavy review of two wonderful movies. We are going to focus on one more than the other, but we will be talking about Sinners in full spoiler details, and then we will be getting, if that's a lovely wee appetizer, a lovely little starter, our main event will be our spoiler review of the MCU's latest production, Thunderbolts, asterisk. Apparently, asterisk. Don't know how it's said. Let's find out if these other chaps know how to say it. He's the Iceman, it's Baby Boone, Josef Boone.
Alright, Andrew, how you doing?
He'll smack your bitch up, it's Polly Smack Paul Stirrit.
I believe it's pronounced Asterix and Obelix.
And here's the triple barrel man, he is Craig Andrew Mooney.
I can confirm that Paul is correct. Hello, everybody.
Well, is this the whole colour thing? So we spell colour C-O-L-O-U-R, but Americans spell it C-O-L-O-R.
I don't know how it's spelled.
There's a whole video of the Thunderbolts saying asterisk, but I always thought it was asterix.
Asterisk?
No idea.
I'm now lost.
So there we go. Let us know. Are you American? Is it asterisk? And then we are British and we say asterisk.
Look, let's not go down this route, okay?
Oh no, wait, I've got plenty more questions to go like that. So yes, we will be doing a full spoiler heavy review of the Thunderbolts, but also we didn't get the full chance to talk about Sinners in its whole, and now Joseph has seen it, so we want to talk about that because it's a new movie, it is its own IP. We don't get a lot of these, and as the With Mates podcast, myself and all of us are performers, we want to big up original stories and original movies when they deserve it, and Sinners deserves it because it is one of, if not the best movie that's been released this year. But before we get into that, I want to say a huge thank you to you lovely watchers and listeners. We have had over 1,000 views on YouTube. We are so proud of that, and we are so thankful of that. What you can do for us now, and I'm saying it at the start of the episode, so you've got no fucking excuses because we've not even finished yet, so go and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure you're following us on social medias at WithMatesPod. We have got plenty coming. We are now in the peak season of TV and film. We've got our summer movies coming. We are going to do an Andor spoiler review as a full season. We are going to catch up with The Last of Us and give you episodes 3 and 4. We're not for Last of Us. Obviously, all the movies that are coming out, I put out a tweet, I'm sure I retweeted it. We're starting off with Thunderbolts, we've got Mission Impossible, we've got Superman, we've got Fantastic Four, we've got Jurassic Park. There are so many films coming out this summer, and we will be here doing that for you. So make sure you're subscribing, make sure you are joining in the conversation. Let us know what you thought of Sinners, let us know what you thought of Thunderbolts. Now, this is spoiler heavy, so I will give you the warning now. Full spoilers from this point. There is no general reactions. We are going to talk to you like you have seen both Sinners and Thunderbolts. I might give you more spoiler warnings.
Full frontal from here.
If you want.
There'll be chapters.
Fill your boots.
For the listeners, there'll be chapters, so you can see when Sinners chats end. If you want to move on to Thunderbolts,
yeah, we'll see when
Sinners
is away. But also when we get to Thunderbolts, there might be some spoiler stuff for other MCU projects that you might not have watched, but we will give you spoiler warnings for that kind of stuff. Before we get into it, chaps, I'm going to start this tradition with what everyone else is talking about just now. Next week, we're all going to answer a question, but the question is, who wins in a fight? 100 men or one gorilla?
Where did this come from?
Fuck knows, mate. Mate, we were talking like this, but we had the bear gorilla chat last week, and then all of a sudden this is a thing.
Here.
Oh yeah, you were sleeping. For the viewers,
Paul
when we introduced sleeping. We introduced this, and we didn't know where Paul was, and we made jokes as if he might be kidnapped. No, he was just snoozing. He just hit snooze on his wee alarm, and he went back to sleep.
So I woke up, did you say 100 men?
I was here.
You fucking were not here.
Go.
Yes, so it's 100 men versus one gorilla.
Okay, what gorilla?
It's a big gorilla. Silverback.
Like King Kong sized?
No, just a gorilla.
Just a big gorilla.
What
are the men armed with? Is it
that's what I was going to say.
Are they just
2 fists and a hope full of dreams.
Where are the men from?
Well, this is what I am loving just now, because the amount of stuff I'm seeing where it's like when the gorillas beat 50 men and then Brock Lesnar's music hits and then the gorilla's like, oh fuck, and I'm just like, that's top tier humour for me.
So the gorilla's beating off 50 men.
Whoa.
Before lunchtime.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, so it's not that kind of fight.
No. This isn't Benidorm.
Okay.
For any Spanish people watching, I apologize. But yeah, I've seen a couple of different takes where it's just like, to my automatic thoughts, the humans don't stand a chance. The gorilla will fuck every single one of them up. But then zoologist that I seen said the gorilla is very heavy, so it will take a lot of energy for it to start. So like,
it'll get tired.
If you're coming in at number 78, 79, you might get one up on the gorilla.
Is this scenario, is it like Royal Rumble, like one's coming in every 5 minutes?
Or is it,
I don't know. I think it was just 100 men against the gorilla, but realistically 100 men aren't going to be able to do anything at once. So you're talking 10 at a time, maybe.
If it's all the same man.
If we think about this, like we're Spartans or something, we will just move in, surround the gorilla. There will be casualties, but we just overpower it with sheer number. Like we bite it, it'll get tired. It'll eventually.
I'm taking the gorilla.
I think by the time we get to like person 78, the gorilla's well and truly tired, and we just tap it, and it's fine. In fact, you know what? Forget the 100 men. Send me in. Send Polly Smack in, and he'll deal with the gorilla. I'll roll up my sleeves and I'll be like, oh, come on.
What would win in a fight? Polly Smack or a gorilla?
When we get to 1 million subscribers, I know what video we're going to be recording. I'll be on to Craig Andrew Mooney to email Edinburgh Zoo. Like, mate, 1 million subscribers, we made a promise. Right, enough about the gorillas, but we will have a fun question for you next week. Let's start off with this movie right here. It is the wonderful Michael B. Jordan's Sinners. I got this lovely poster from Cineworld. Shout out Cineworld, doing posters, they're really cool. So we've all seen this. We kind of gave our opinions last week. Myself and Craig doing the movie roundup for April. We loved it, but now we're going to get into spoiler details. Joseph, you've been teasing that you didn't like the movie, but now you kind of let it slip last night. You loved this movie. Tell me why you loved Sinners.
I was being a shite bag on our WhatsApp chat just to wind both you and Craig up for the inevitable disappointment this week. But I fucking love this film start to finish. It is phenomenal. It has got several standout shots that made me realise why I fell in love with cinema and why I want to create cinema. And the soundtrack is banging. Like, I had it on, like, I was long train journey last night. I had it on from start to finish, mostly looping The Rocky Road to Dublin because that tune is immense. The acting was phenomenal. The writing was brilliant. I thought some of the shots, especially the composite shots of CGI between Michael B. Jordan and Michael A. Jordan, they were great. I can't wait for like a few VFX artists to like properly break it down to be like, how did they do that?
Yeah. There's already some really cool behind the scenes stuff with Ryan Coogler, where he's talking about like how this is the first movie that's done the different aspect ratios and how it's shot on IMAX. It's so cool. Again, not close or nearly intelligent enough to understand what he's talking about, but it sounds cool and it sounds technically amazing. And I seen a tweet and I could not agree more with it. Coogler now is up there with your modern day Denis Villeneuve, Chris Nolan.
Oh, easily.
Easily. I'm more than happy to tell people anything Ryan Coogler does, I will be there day one to see it. Yeah. Craig, any further thoughts?
I just want to bring up something I found out this week is that this film was slightly inspired by Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, where
I love that.
So it was the eyes, isn't it? The eyes of the devil is inspired
so the
by
eyes
the eyes of death.
Jack O'Connell's.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I thought it was really cool.
But this is the thing, though, is like, see if you listen to Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan talk, like they take a lot of their stuff from anime
Studio
and like,
Ghibli, isn't it? Michael B. Jordan's into Studio Ghibli, isn't he? Yeah, he's into Studio Ghibli. But again, Ryan Coogler talks about like how most of the great films just now, when you think about it, are animated. You think of The Wild Robot, you think of Puss in Boots, Last Wish, you think of
the Spider-Man movies, like a lot of the best movies that we're getting just now are animated. And Christ, what was that Netflix film? It was
I know. It's the Witcher, the new Witcher one. That did really, really well.
Paul, if we're going to start throwing digs about the
gone,
movie draft,
gone.
I don't think you're gone, but you took a big old hit today. But yeah, no, there was a Netflix animated movie where it was like the family.
Thingy versus the Machines.
Yes, that's it.
Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Mitchell's versus the Machines. I fucking loved that film, but this is what I'm saying is like a lot of the animated. Film. Yeah, it was a great film. But yeah, Ryan Coogler absolutely killing it. Paul, while I look up these stats, like you weren't as hot on Sinners, were you?
I liked the film. Don't get me wrong. Love to see a mostly original film. It is very heavily based off of From Dusk Till Dawn. Like it's the same plot premise, just about. Just slightly different location and characters, but they even pay homage in the film to From Dusk Till Dawn. It's technically set in sort of like an Aztec Mayan temple, and they were trying to offer them the Mayan gold in this, or Aztec gold, was like served no purpose in this film other than the fact that this is an homage. We know what we're doing like this. So and I did like it, and it is a more sort of A24 stylish, more in depth look at these characters than From Dusk Till Dawn is, because a lot of From Dusk Till Dawn is kind of action, kind of based it from a certain point. But it's about two brothers who are on the run from the law and are holed up in a location and get attacked by vampires. Yeah. And I knew as soon as this was vampires, I knew one of the brothers was dying. That's what happens from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, but Paul, did Dusk Till Dawn have a sexy vampire dance battle? No, it didn't.
Didn't
have that.
It does have a very, like, if you want to watch From Dusk Till Dawn, and if you ever thought to yourself, you know what, I'm a bit like Quentin Tarantino, I like feet, and you want to see Quentin Tarantino being drip-fed something from Selma Hayek's foot.
Oh, I was going to say, is that the Selma Hayek film?
That's the Selma Hayek film. That's that one. I think it has that.
To me, I would rather watch the might be considered the horniest scene I have seen in cinema in a very long time. I can't remember. One of my girlfriend's friends messaged her being like, "The Hangover will not allow me to watch as..." Remind me her name. I'm so bad.
I cannot remember.
Oh my god!
What we're talking
about?
No, the main girl
in The Hangover.
No, the main girl in the main girl in Sinners.
Oh, Haley Steinfeld.
Oh,
Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, she's like, I can't. The Hangover will not allow me to watch Haley Steinfeld spit in Michael B. Jordan's mouth. And I was like, yeah, I kind of get it. It is a horny scene.
Yeah, it was incredibly horny. I like how the only person that like gave head lived at the end of the scene.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, to me, the film is a fucking masterpiece. If you go on our scale, in terms of score wise and stuff like that, 8's amazing, 9's incredible, 10 is as close to perfect as perfect can be. This is a 10 out of 10 film. There is not one part, whether it be story, cinematography, score, acting, performance, directing, lighting, like it is stunning. And I said this last week, if there is a film that comes out that tops Sinners, my fuck is that going to be a good film, because Sinners, to me, I looked back on my most anticipated list, I'm devastated it was at 7. It should have been higher, but I can tell you it's going to be much higher at the end of this year.
Severely undersold it. The trailer undersold it.
I think it gave away a lot.
It gave away plot, but it undersold how much of a brilliant film it was going to be. Like,
to be fair, it's absolutely killing it.
I think what they should have done, I only saw the trailer once, and I think it was in the cinema, so I don't actually remember too much, but I do remember they did show there was like a spiritual kind of thing, like the vampire sort of stuff, and I didn't realise it was vampires straight away. But what they do, if funnily enough, in From Dusk Till Dawn, is they play the entire film like it's going to be like a con film from the start, and then it's only halfway through the film do you realise, oh my god, there's freaking vampires everywhere, and it's like, so I think they should have.
That's how monster films should be done, Paul.
Yeah.
We don't need any more like, oh, he can't walk in the sun, he needs to drink the blood of virgins or whatever. Like they just go, oh, that boy's a vampire, you're not getting in. It's the most like genre savvy film. There's
also some lovely comparisons between Sinners and Nosferatu, which are two very, very different vampire movies, but there's some really nice cinematography that match up and stuff. Yeah, so it's a $90 million budget, and it's already looking to make between 300 and 360 million globally, which is fantastic. It should have made more.
Would you like some more stats, Andrew?
Go on, give me some stats, and then we will get to the MCU.
Currently sitting at 97% audience score, with 10,000 plus verified ratings. It's currently sitting at a 98% on critic score.
That number.
Which, you know what? I'm not even mad. RE the draft. I think fucking yeah. The rest of us are fools for not picking it.
Top pick, motherfucker. I didn't give you a chance. That was always going to be my number one pick.
It has got, out of 336 reviews, critic reviews, it's currently sitting at 328 fresh reviews and only 8 rotten reviews.
All right, I'm not usually one for calling people out, but I'm calling them out because I've noticed.
What did I do?
Sinners. No, not you. I'll call you out every day, all day. I just noticed, right, and it's just because it's. Oh yeah, Paul, what did you give it out of 10?
He's going to say 8.
Not 8.
Oh damn! I was want to give it someone else now. I was going to say 8. I give it 8. It is really good film. Really good film. I just could predict a couple of things about it from heaven.
Is there a way of finding just looking up the negative reviews?
I don't actually know.
Fuck knows. Regardless, anyway, there was a guy. I'll find his name eventually, and I will call him out because it was up there with fucking IGN with House Smith. Like he was like the first person. So there was a point where Sinners was 100%. I think he was the first one to give it a negative review, and his review was pure shit. And I looked back at some of the films that he was given, like, so I think he gave it like a C-. Sinners a C-, but he gave something like, I can't remember what it was. It was something so mid. Like, say it was The Accountant. He gave The Accountant 2 fucking a B+, and I'm like, how can you, like, fair enough, we might, like, grade on a curve, but, mate, come on to fuck. Like, Sinners was a masterpiece. But yeah.
I will say that the 2 bits that I didn't like straight up were the bit at the end where they're still alive, the 2 vamps at the end, and
after the credits scene.
And they don't get staked, and they're controlling their vampire appetites. I didn't really like that. I was like, I want a bit more from that. I don't want a happy ending to this film, basically, for them or for him. And I also didn't really like, quite controversially apparently, the sort of spirit music.
The best scene in the film.
Disagree. As soon I liked the sort of old time ritual part of it. I thought that fit the vibe so well. It was really good. As soon as I saw an electric guitar, a DJ, and somebody twerking, took me completely out of it, and I was like,
"But that's
what the hell are we doing here?"
If I can quote Andrew for a second, Paul, grow up.
It's set in, like, I don't know, like the early 1900s. I don't want to see a DJ.
But that wasn't real. That was like a fucking mirage, or however you want to put it.
But spirits and time travel and the one thing, I don't like it.
Brother, opinions. There was no time travel, brother. Opinions can't be wrong, but you're fucking
it's
wrong.
A spirit. A DJ is in the party. He is time traveling to be there.
It was a fucking whatever a dream, a mirage,
in order for that DJ to be a spirit, he has to be dead. So he's dead in the future,
not a spirit as
and he's
in
travelled
like
back in time.
No, not a spirit as in dead, like a fucking. I'm trying to think of a way to put it that you might understand. See in The Simpsons, where the doula woman puts the Homer in like a trance kind of thing, and he sees like fucking whatever.
Yeah, he's
like
on
that.
DMT. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it's like that.
But I mean, okay, but there has to be then some kind of DJ spirit, and I don't know what I dislike more, a DJ spirit.
Honestly,
it's literally the scene is he communicates with the spirits when he sings.
It might literally be the worst take that has ever been said on this fucking podcast, and there's been some smelly takes on this podcast.
It literally says,
and we're about to get some fucking smelly takes
with the spirits.
Paul, stop it.
We have seen several times in that film, in their own film, that the spirits are in fact dead people, because Michael B. Jordan at the end, after he shot up all the Ku Klux Klan guys, speaks to his dead spirit wife and child.
No, but okay, that's two different instances.
Yeah.
Now it's different. Now it's different.
It's never not been different.
Actually.
Oh, he's actually
Paul. That's different because within the lore of this world, right? The the guitarist is summoning spirits of blues music through his singing. Last I checked in the scene, and Paul, let me finish. Last I checked in that scene where Michael B. Jordan shooting up the Ku Klux Klan, nobody's singing. He doesn't have the power to bring those spirits back. He is hallucinating.
That's just a nice. That's just a nice. That's just a nice. He's went to heaven.
That's a gladiator ending. Yes.
Do you have the same issue? Right? Can I ask then? Have you got the same issue with the African drums?
No. That's what I'm saying.
How's that any different?
Because that is the spirits. They are from their ancestors. He's communicating with them.
But again, the whole point of this is it doesn't matter what way in the timeline you go. These people exist.
But the DJ cannot exist. They have not reached that point in time yet.
But you're saying we are watching a point in time. He wasn't there. What? Yes, Craig.
What is this? Wait a
minute. Good boy, Craig. Sorry, good boy, Craig has got his hand up.
What is this argument?
Paul, good boy, Craig has got his... Oh,
I'm trying to help here.
Got to Thunderbolts shit, and I'm already beyond frustrated.
I'm trying to help here. So, in terms of... Right, Paul's fixated on the fact that he thinks the spirits need to be dead. So he's never going to get past that. There's no point in trying. Because he in his head, that's what he's seeing. However, the way I interpreted it, and it may help, it may not help, was that when he's summoning these spirits, it's like-minded spirits. So he is one of these types of people who can, like, this kind of person who brings these spirits to him, the musician that is able to do that, just like the drum person was, just like in the future the DJ person was. They're all the kind of similar kind of like that because the whole point of the film was that he is this special blues player that can do
again,
this.
It's
that's what I interpret that as.
Yeah, there are people within generations to generations to generations that have this ability that when they play music, they can summon blah, blah, blah. So you're saying, they haven't existed yet. I'm just saying, like, if you think of it, again, we don't want to go into the whole timeline thing, but if you think of this as like a fucking cinematic universe, and we've watched Sinners now, you could then go and do, Sinners modern day, where you watch the DJ. You can't say that they didn't exist. Yes, good boy, Joseph. Paul, good boy, Joseph has his hand up.
You get that hand up.
I believe the opening sort of blurb, about the people who can conjure these spirits. I believe it said that the people who can conjure these spirits act as a bridge between the living and the dead, allowing musicians to conjure spirits from both the past and the future.
It's
so
set
Paul
up.
is right. There's a bit of time travel element involved,
but it's not
they are
travel.
dead.
It was a cool metaphorical moment where you got to see the past, the present, and the future.
Say in the film that it's from the future. They even say it's from the future. It must be dead people.
I need to move us on.
I didn't like it.
I need to move us on.
And you need to accept
opinions cannot be wrong. You are fucking wrong. And do you know what? Listeners, viewers, who get in the comments and fucking roast this motherfucker, because that was the best part of that film. Right, let's move on. We are now giving you your big old spoiler warning for this movie that we are now going to talk about, which is the Thunderbolts. Yes, the latest MCU movie has arrived in cinema. We have been to see it. We went to see it on Thursday. We are recording this on Friday. and this will be releasing on Monday. So you've had the weekend. If you have not yet went to the cinema to see Thunderbolts, now's the time to pause this podcast, pause this YouTube video, head to the cinema, see the movie, and then come back and hear what we have to say in full spoiler details. Now, normally, I would go first because I am the Marvel shill. I am the Marvel lover of the four of us. But I'm going to go last because I want to hear these takes coming from you guys. So, again, full spoilers on the board. We're just going to talk in generalities, but you can bring up specifics if you want. Joseph, what did you think of the Thunderbolts asterisk?
I was very underwhelmed with the film. I was very disappointed in the film. It felt like not as it could have been a return to glory. It just kind of felt like they were going, yeah, I know our past films have been shit, but here's a bit of tokenism about mental health to make you realise, don't worry, we feel bad. I found it quite interesting that it was pitched as it was advertised as there's a lot of people that worked on A24 films, and not the guy who wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was the one that was about that advertisement. I just kind of felt that the whole it was slow to start. And when it did finally start picking up in tempo, it was a bit too late. I'd already checked out.
I'm scared.
This film, I'm disappointed with the film because this film had the opportunity to either be a very well constructed and commentary and divulgence into poor mental health and how even how everyone's affected by it, and Sentry was really cool as a villain, and how that void was all consuming, and speaking about the impact of negative mental health. But also it could have just been non-stop carnage from start to end and just a glorious romp of these anti-heroes just knuckling down and saving the day. But ultimately it ended up as a film that didn't quite meet either of those hopes. It was full of forgettable moments and really just set us up for another team up as part of another plot point for the big product of the MCU as a whole, for when they inevitably team up in the big Doomsday, whatever film it is, we don't have to go, who are they again?
Oh, this is a good exercise in fucking constraint for me, I tell you. Paul, go on, infuriate me more.
Okay, so I was expecting a film that was a group of mercenaries basically tried to take down Superman. And I thought, actually, it's not a bad premise. What we got was an existential walk through the void of a bunch of these mercenaries basically defeat Superman by giving him a hug. And then we got that by the end with a Deadpool-style joke where it's the new Avengers with a Z and Bob. Most of these characters should have been dead. Most of these characters don't matter. Most of these characters we don't care about. So they should have been dying one by one. The film should have went away from this mental health aspect of it. I don't think it's the right film for this kind of aspect. I think what you should have done is a Suicide Squad style of film where you have these group of hardened mercenaries try to take down Superman. And, hey, Superman's the villain for once. That's a fun concept. And they managed to ruin that. They managed to ruin Superman being the villain. And you should have had these guys dying one at a time, with Red Guardian at the end finally being the one to defeat him and getting this glorious moment.
Why
and
Red
then
Guardian?
Dying. Why? Because he's the one chasing glory, and he's the one that was like, I want to be this hero again, and he was the perfect lamb for the sacrificial altar to finally beat Sentry and kill him, but also die in the process. Most of them should have been dead. The only person alive at the end of this film should have been Florence Pugh, because that's the only one that really matters going into the next film. The rest of them should have been dead. And Taskmaster shouldn't have died as early. She should have been
Wrong.
killed by Sentry.
Oh, you can tell you're a fucking WWE fan. Honestly, fuck, man. Fantasy booking your own film rather than talking about what we actually got. Oh, this is difficult. Craig, level me out at least, man. If you team up with these two, honest. No, do you know what? Fucking team up with them, because watch me bat down every fucking one of these. And I want scores after Craig's here, and then I'm going to see if you change your score by the end of it.
I'm so glad this is on video, by the way. But anyway, so I feel like I'm going to be the kind of middle ground here. I think I'm going to be a bit more of the kind of the mediator between the two parties. I think, based on what's been said so far, I'm definitely nowhere near as critical or as grumpy about the film as the two lads that have just spoken.
And Craig was excited going in.
I was really excited going into this film. If you were to say to me, did it meet my expectations? I would say a tentative no. But that does not mean that I did not enjoy the film. I actually quite enjoyed the film. I had fun watching it. Was it this groundbreaking thing that's going to change Marvel and make it back and all these kind of things that people were talking about? I'm not sure. But that being said, I don't feel like it was a bad film. I had fun. I was entertained. And I agree with some of the points that Joseph and Paul have made. But I also don't agree with some of the points that Joseph and Paul have made. And I think there'll be a lot of points that I will agree with Andrew about. So, as I said, I'm in the middle. I'm open to being swayed one way or the other. But I'm definitely more positive than negative, for sure.
Right. Watch me smack down these two and watch me change Mooney's mind for a fucking 10th time this year.
You don't need to mind. I'm on your side.
I'm now at a point. I've kind of been here with Paul for a while, but kind of more so Joseph now. I am Ryan Gosling in The Notebook. What do you want?
That's funny. We were Homelander in the cinema.
I'll answer this question for you, Andrew. I would like Marvel to stop treating the MCU as a product.
It's not right. So literally, right?
Filmmaking again.
But you're saying filmmaking, right? This was one of the best looking MCU films, right? This had some of the best performances in any of the MCU films. Now, what I will say, right? Oh, honest to God.
With the wrong characters.
That's the fucking point of the film. Are you stupid?
They are a group of mercenaries. I don't really
you literally
care
get to the,
about
you get
any
to
of
the
them.
end of, no, you get to the end of that. You are like, oh, you're so Gleckit. Sorry, Gleckit means blind. You literally get to the end of this movie. They get announced as the new Avengers, and the fucking credits, which were brilliant. They've got the like fucking Time magazine or whatever it is, whatever kind of paper that's hanging, going, oh, the B Avengers. Nobody wants it. This is the point of the film.
Joseph?
The point of the film is that they suck. Yes, we get that.
I've got a couple of things here. First of all, wait, Gleckit does it mean blind down in your bit?
Gleckit means like you don't see properly.
Oh, because like for up Aberdeen way, Gleckit is like you're just daft. You're just a muppet. You're a moron.
Kind of, yeah, like yeah. Okay, kind of the same.
Cool.
Regardless,
I have a feeling both fit
second
for Andrew's
point.
purposes.
Second point. What I mean by product for this, it felt to me that this film was just another stepping stone. It didn't. It like the whole story and character development.
Mate. This is
nothing of substance.
But I would like to finish
happens.
my argument here.
Sorry.
It's like I think especially with the final end credits scene, they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit because with the reveal of the Fantastic Four ship, we kind of now know what to expect from the Fantastic Four.
That I agree with.
I agree with. Which I don't think was a clever move on their part. I liked the whole.
Not the specifics. Not
therein
to that level.
lies the issue that we've got.
Did.
What do you mean?
No.
Right.
I also want to know how they knew it's an extra-dimensional ship. Like
they didn't know it was an extra-dimensional ship.
They say it's an extra-dimensional ship in the end credit scene. Well, I want to know where's the scanner
they said
for
that
that.
There was an extra. No, they said there was an extra dimensional thing happening. Right, we are now at a point where, and there's a point in the movie where it happens, and it's really funny. The point where they break into Avengers Tower and they start fighting people, and you've just got New Yorkers just like walking past. I'm like, yeah, this is a fucking New York that's had multiple alien invasions. It's had people turning to fucking dust in front of their eyes, right? So this is a thing where, how do they know it's a multi-dimensional ship? Because we're in a place where that's a thing now. The Avengers in Endgame, right? This is how many years after Endgame. They had space travel. They had the multi-dimensional travel to get to Thanos. This is now a thing. This isn't where we are. This isn't 2012 Avengers where it's like, oh my fuck, there's a hole in the sky. They know about these things. The technology has grown to that exponential level. As far as the Fantastic Four goes, right, they might not have come out and held your hand and went, this is a prequel somewhat of a movie. It's happening in another dimension. We know Fantastic Four is in another dimension. Everybody has surmised from what the plot is going to be, right? If they are not in our 616, if we're still doing the multiverse thing, they must come to the 616. So we knew that they were going to somehow join up with us before Doomsday. Now, I get what you're saying, Joseph, in the sense of, they shouldn't be giving that away, or this is us just to get to the next big thing. This is the first after credit scene that's done this, probably since, and which is fun. The after credit scene was actually directed by the Russo brothers, who are directing the new Avengers movies. This is the first time they've done this since probably Civil War, where at the end of, what movie was it? Was it Captain America? No.
What scene is it you're thinking of?
See the scene where it was Bucky was trapped in the lynch. Was it Ant-Man? Basically, the scene where Bucky...
Yeah, that was Ant-Man.
The scene where Bucky was trapped in the thing, and you had Cap and Falcon being like, oh, I know a guy, and it leads into Civil War. That's the first time we've had everything else. And again, I'm not even defending the rest of it. The other ones have been going, here's a new character. We'll probably see him soon. Here's a new character. We'll probably see them soon. Here's Harry Styles for whatever fucking reason. He's Thanos' brother. We'll visit that soon. We're not going to get any of that, right? This, to me, is what we need. You're teasing the next direct film. We know we're getting Fantastic Four, and they've teased Fantastic Four. Now we get to go in. Also, shout out to the beginning of this film. Did you get it? I'm assuming you did. The IMAX countdown where it was Fantastic Four themed.
Oh, where it had the 4, and it was like held on for like forever.
Fucking love that, man. It's so good. I love the score. It's so good. It gets me hyped. But that's the after credit scene. And again, I'm going to get into specifics about the after credit scene because I fucking loved it and I want to talk about it specifically. But in terms of introducing the Fantastic Four, we knew that was coming. Plus, for the people, we're in the weeds. We know, we read, we fucking talk about it week to week here on the catch up. See, for the people that don't really know what movies are coming up, that's like, oh my god, the Fantastic Four are in this. That's brilliant. I'll look forward to that.
But they do know it's coming up.
No, but they don't.
They do know that the Fantastic Four is coming up because you literally got like 2 adverts before in the IMAX show.
You got an IMAX countdown.
No. But the point I'm trying to make is they don't know when and where and how and why. Now you've got these, like, you're going, all right, so now these heroes are going to interact with these heroes and how is it going to happen? They will now get, again, you're building excitement for the next project. We said we were going to... We literally predicted what the after credit scene was going to be, which says they need to tease the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
They did that.
Okay, so
but not the ending of their film.
Yes, so
you don't know the ending.
We
know they slipped through a rocket.
Yeah. Okay. So, may I?
How does it end?
So, whatever happens, right? So, whatever happens in this Fantastic Four film, we're now going to assume...
not whatever happens. If they've ruined the ending, what happens? Not whatever happens. What's the ending of Fantastic Four?
Well, obviously it's going to be what we thought it was going to be, but what I would have preferred, right? I would have preferred for it to have been a point in the Fantastic Four film that we then find out where that fits in, rather than it probably most likely being the ending of the film. For example, what would be more interesting to me, for example, is if like there's some kind of like interdimensional, extra-dimensional like message coming through, and it pops up with Pedro Pascal's fucking face going whatever it is related to their plot, and then in the film we find out when that actually happens, and we're like wondering when that's going to happen in the Fantastic Four. Whereas now we know that the plot happens, they get in their ship, they go through this thing, whatever wormhole they're going to make and whatever's going to happen, and they're going to end up there. That's less interesting to me.
But we knew that was going to happen. Doomsday the cast has been announced. They are in Doomsday. So at some point, we knew that
I don't want necessarily to read a whole novel to find that out, Andrew. And I don't want the movie spoiled beforehand.
But what do you mean you knew?
How did I know?
See it.
No. Oh, what do you mean need to see? Oh, you literally just says that you're right. So what you've said is you wish they did like a wee fucking video message where it's like, we're running, and then you want to see that in the Fantastic Four film. What I believe they've done is they've showed us this, and we will see this in Doomsday. You will see this fucking ship land in Doomsday, and the Thunderbolts will go meet, the New Avengers. Again, we're fucking spoiler heavy. It's the New Avengers. The New Avengers will go meet the Fantastic Four. It's bad. Like, we know they're going to be in Doomsday, right? So logically, we know by the end of this film they will need to travel to the 616. We know that. We don't know how it ends. We don't know how they travelled. We don't know why they travelled. We don't know what happened in their universe. We don't know anything. Yes, Joseph. I'm really... Right, can I just say, I love all three of you. And I don't mean anything that happens within this next, 45 minutes or whatever.
I find it very funny that we spent more time talking about the Fantastic Four film than we have
the actual Thunderbolts.
Because you brought... No. Because you brought it up and you lit the fuse. I can't help where the fuse goes off.
So I find that really has sort of sparked my thoughts about why it was a bit of a letdown film for me, because as a Marvel audience we are trained to expect the after credits and all that stuff, and that seems to generate more hype. I said to the boys as we were leaving the cinema, what I would have loved for a punchier intro to the film as opposed to the pseudo introspective building fall from Florence Pugh with it felt like quite a generic corridor fight scene, as opposed to where I would have loved to have started with her getting into the facility.
No. I'm verging off there. I'll give my thoughts on all that stuff later. I'm verging off there. There's some things about the film
we will get back to the after credit scene, right? One of the biggest
Where else would
complaints
you like to be wrong?
We need to do ratings.
Right,
guys,
okay. Let's start with this. Right?
Ratings before we start talking.
Right,
properly.
Before we get to our ratings, but where else would I like to be wrong? Critic score 89%, audience score 95%. Yeah, I'm wrong in this conversation.
Bottom paper.
Bottom paper. Where's my money? Where's my money for my review that I gave positive review? Where's my money?
I won't.
But you're a shill. You're a self-described shill,
brother. I'll be honest,
so
but again, right. This is where my whole
you
thing
like Eternals. Your opinion is
Eternals is great.
Is easy Ozzy at best. I can't trust your opinion on this.
Trust me. No, but you can, right? But this is the whole thing that I'm talking. You don't like Sinners, right?
I gave it an 8,
which is a Paul 10. That's a Paul 10.
Right. So to go to your ratings conversation, Andrew,
let's all take a breath, and then we're all going to say a number. And I'm going to try and keep my temper in check.
That's what you say.
Joseph.
So for me, I think it was maybe a 5.5. It certainly has not been as...
a 5 is okay and a 6 is good.
It was okay.
So 5. Okay.
5. It was not as bad as other recent Marvel films or TV series. There was a lot of things in it that I enjoyed of a visual aspect. I really liked the visuals behind Sentry's powers and how that manifested. I thought it was so cool. I loved the actor's performance. His name escapes me.
Lewis Pullman.
I thought he was the best performance. Yeah, Lewis Pullman. I think he was the best performance in the film. But for me personally, the reason I'm going for a 5 is it didn't feel like the film that I was watching was the film that was advertised to me. It didn't have the same feeling as.
So again, I kind of made a joke about it, but I'm semi-serious. What do you feel like you wanted the film to be, and what did you think it was going to be by the advertising?
So I thought it was going to be a more of a like anti-hero redemption story, more than just like team up of characters who fight a bad guy. I thought it was going to be more of like a proper like.
Again. That is what it is. Like that's literally what it is.
I'm not. But what I said is I thought it was going to be more than what we got. It was like maybe for me about 55-60% of what it could have been. But I thought it was going to be more glorious.
I feel like that's such a cop-out answer. I wanted more of what?
I'll tell you what I want more of.
More Paul, I'm speaking. More introspection, more actual delving into like the horrible shit that these characters have done. I would have loved, as Paul, I actually like Paul's like hope for like the Red Guardian to have like a big bombastic finally return to glory moment.
But that's not who Red Guardian.
I agree again as well.
Right. No, but I did no. So it's so difficult. This is all
opinion based.
Wait. I know I get that right, but again we're getting away with it. Right. So score wise, you gave it a 5 because we'll get into specifics about certain characters and then we'll be able to have that more discussion. Paul, quickly, score.
I'll give it a 4 based on its.
So meh.
So some of its performances were really good, but just wasn't what I wanted.
Craig.
6.5.
Wow.
Because I can't give it great. Because 7 is great, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's like almost great. So I can't give it a 7.
I think it's an 8. I think it's an amazing film. I think. Right, we'll get into specifics. So
no. Sinners is an 8, Andrew.
No. Sinners is a 10, mate. Sinners is a fucking 10. Your scale is fucking weird.
See for the fact that this film you think for the fact you think that this film is anywhere close to being as good as Sinners just tells me your scale in your head is broken.
But it's not.
It's broken.
Right, okay. Can I ask you your scale then?
Joseph. We're upsetting the baby. Okay? You two calm down. We're upsetting the baby.
What did Sinners do to lose 2 marks? What did Sinners do that lost it 2 marks?
That scene, like I said,
that scene 2 marks,
and the fact that the vampires weren't killed. That was my main bits about it. An ending's important to the story. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, right, cool.
It didn't feel like it belonged
to me. Right, I'm going to get into the reason. So, try to think of the best way to do this, right? Because obviously, I obviously really like it. You guys are kind of ranging
I liked
dislike to not bothered.
I liked
so you
it.
thought it was good. Right. Yeah. So, to me, I'm trying to think the best way to put this discussion, right? I'm going to say why I think it's an 8, and then I would like you guys to kind of chime in as to whether you disagree or agree with me. So my whole thing about films is, right, especially when it comes to the MCU, because I get, Paul, again, understandably, everybody kind of, fucking Eternals is shit. I enjoy the Eternals for what it is. To me, I feel as if there is this thought of movies where if it's not 10 out of 10, it's a 4, it's a 3. No, a movie can be great. It doesn't need to reach fucking 10 out of 10. Like, again, you're saying about how this can get close to Sinners. I don't give 10 out of 10 a lot. Sinners to me is as like fucking perfect as perfect can be. This isn't close to perfect. It's not by any means. But when you look at, especially if you look at fucking the latest Captain America, that was fine. That was okay. That was a 5 out of 10 for me. This is definitely 3 scores better than a fucking than what Brave New World was. So if you look at it, right, so for me, one of the best things about it was the performances. So you guys have said Lewis Pullman is the best. I think arguably, I think Florence Pugh is the best in this. I think Lewis Pullman is a close second. I think for who he is and the character he is, David Harbour was fantastic as the Red Guardian. I was pissing myself laughing at him the entire time. I think Julia Louise-Dreyfus, as Val is the best we've ever seen her. I loved that character. I'm so glad she didn't die and we get more of her. They introduced a new villain in Sentry / The Void. Even Val's assistant in this, I'm going to need to get her name up. She was in, was it Cockblockers, the John Cena movie?
She was also in the thing with Daniel
Denny's
Radcliffe,
watched that,
that
no?
show. The show with Daniel
I
Radcliffe.
did,
Was
yeah.
it Miracle Workers?
Yes,
Yeah,
Geraldine Viswanathan. I thought she was great. I hope we get more of her in the MCU. To me, performance-wise, who's bad? Fucking Hingway Walker is US agent.
No, I wouldn't say anyone's performance is bad. I would not say there is a bad performance in the film.
So I'm going to use this.
That's why I give it a 4.
Right. This is my point. Is there anybody bad in it? Or would you say predominantly most people put in a really good performance with peaks of being like, say, Lewis Bowman, great, amazing, whatever? Right. So that averages out above what you're scoring it, right?
No.
Yeah.
Because the plot and the action are completely all over the place.
Again, we will get to that. But in terms of performances, that's a thumbs up for everybody, yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into specifics about performances then, right? Because we can all agree that the performances were good. I'll come to Craig. Craig, you said Lewis Pullman best?
Correct. Oh, yes.
Tell me why.
So, I think, by the way, Florence Pugh, close second. I would say I agree she was a fantastic as well. I quite like White Russell actually as well at times. I thought he gave some decent depth to that character that was kind of needed, I think, because he would have been a bit like kind of throwaway if it hadn't been for that. But Lewis Pullman, I thought he was outstanding. Like, I was really taken with that performance. I think he had a lot to do to sell this new character. And it's a very complicated character as well. And while potentially, as Joseph's kind of alluded to already, that the kind of mental health aspect of the film wasn't as good as it possibly could have been, I think his performance within that whole thing can't really be faulted. And I think he did a really good job. So
quick question: do you know who was originally cast as Sentry?
Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
And I think actually they made the better choice. I think Lewis Pullman would have given a.
I don't think he made the choice. I think he was definitely.
I know,
but
it was
you know
scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I'm happy with the choice that eventually got made. Yeah, because I was a big fan, and I think that I'm excited to see where that character goes and seeing more of him, because I think it was I think we needed a performance of that quality within the films. I think we've had that in the Daredevil show. I've kind of been looking for that kind of level of performance in the films, and I think we got that with him and also with Florence Pugh as well.
Yeah. I agree. I think he was great. I think I disagree, and I'm not going to get heated about this, but personally, I disagree with that. You don't think they did the mental health stuff. I got choked up by the end. As most people have, we all struggle with mental health. There was parts in this story that I kind of related to, like feeling like an emptiness and a loneliness and stuff like that. I think they did what they had to do. I don't think you need to go into specifics on this. There's a line where this is why I think Florence Pugh was the best. The speech that she has after they fight Sentry, where she says like, we're all fucking worthless, we're all fucking pieces of shit, I'm awful, I know I'm awful. And then she gets chased down by David Harbour, and she kind of like, you weren't there for me, like my sister died a year ago, you didn't reach out. And then even David Harbour, I related with David Harbour so much in this, right? Now David Harbour, for me, the character of Red Guardian, is obviously the comic relief. But the reason I related with him, because he uses humour to hide his pain. He's sitting in his house that's an absolute shit tip, watching videos of his heyday, just pining for the fact that he wished that Val would phone him up and ask him to come and join the team and stuff. And when Yelena's like, oh, I'm going to leave, he's like, why would you do it? And she's like, you said you were fulfilled. I'm not. I'm fucking miserable. I'm sitting here. He said the same with the conversation with Yelena, where he's like, I didn't think you wanted me. That's why I didn't reach out. And it is this him not feeling like he's good enough and not feeling that he's... But he hides that pain with comedy and stuff like that. I genuinely, and I'm not just saying this, I felt like they hit emotional beats within this movie that worked for me, and I praise that even more because you did it with characters that quite literally nobody cared about. They make jokes about the fact that literally, like, in the after credit scene, he's like, oh, I've seen all these hangry memes about who are they and why are they in it and blah blah blah. Everybody hated Wyatt Russell, said he was unredeemable from the Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier series. They redeemed him. Florence Pugh was obviously enjoyed. People didn't like the Black Widow movie. The only one that they didn't redeem, sorry Paul, I will get to you. The only thing that they didn't redeem, but I think they did the right choice, was Taskmaster. Originally, in Black Widow, they did Taskmaster dirty. They done that. They did that character poorly. Get rid of them, then cool. Like, you're not doing him proper. You're not doing that character properly. Then cool. We'll focus on. I think what they did with Ghost, care more about her than I did in Ant-Man 2. I think they done the character. I don't know. For me, it worked. Yes, Paul.
That's all lovely. Like, having all these big emotional moments together. Like, oh, they've finally opened up to each other. That's just tickles my cockles. But that is not what I want in a movie about trying to kill Superman.
Right, so
that is not what I want.
But that's not. But he's not right. Right. First of all, he's not. He's not Superman.
He is. He intents and purpose. Sentry is Marvel's answer to Superman.
Craig, describe Superman to me.
Superman is hope. Superman is the Boy Scout. He is the quintessential hero. He is your all-American man. He is, but, as I said, hope personified.
Bullshit. No.
Right, Craig,
you're wrong. If you go Snyder on me, I will flip out. That's not Superman. Anyway.
Craig, describe Sentry.
Sentry is a broken individual who was looking for answers, looking for help in any way he possibly could, and needed to find it somehow, and was given this option, this potential hope, and then took it, and then results in that.
Thanks, Craig.
I'm so sorry. You're using flowery language to cover over the fact it's a guy that's invincible, that can fly and shoots laser beams. He's an unstoppable force of nature. And what the movie should have been, Vision is close. Vision is close. From what I've heard, he's close.
Brother, you're just looking at. You're just no, but again, you're talking. You're just talking about powers and abilities. I get
it. It's not the same character. I'm not confusing Clark Kent with Bob. I'm not doing that. But he flies, is invincible, and can break people in two with his hands. He's super fast. He does everything Superman can do. He is quite literally Marvel's answer to Superman. Now, they can't copy and paste him because obviously they'll be like, but they do that all the time. DC do a version of a Marvel character. That is what Deadpool is. His name is Wade Wilson. He's a copy of Deathstroke, who was called Slade, right? So they do it all the time. So that is what Sentry is.
Describe the Void.
Okay, I don't know. That was maybe a new. I'm not like a Sentry.
It's not
thing,
right.
But,
so I'm going to.
I also didn't want this film to go down the mental health route. I wanted a group of hardened mercenaries. I don't want to know their backstory. I don't want to know why they're sad. I want them to fight evil Superman. That's what I want.
But Paul, what you want and what the film is two different things, right? So
which is why I didn't like it. I am explaining to you why I didn't like it.
But you can't fantasy book.
But that is also not the film we were advertised.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. It was, we've got a big problem. You guys are all expendable. Not one of them dies, except Taskmaster, and she's not in it long enough to really call her a team member in this film. But they used her in all the marketing.
Right, Joseph.
Sorry.
No, they didn't.
Paul.
No, they didn't.
Yes,
no, they
she's
didn't.
on the poster. She is on the poster. She's like the biggest face on the poster.
She's in literally one scene. She's not in the trailer. She's not in the trailer. She didn't
literally
do any press.
The poster we are standing in front of when we did our social media post. She is the biggest face.
You know what I really liked, Craig? You know what I really liked was the use of music within this film. Wouldn't you say, Craig? The use of music in this film was fantastic. So the reason I'm going for a 5 with this rating system is performances were good all round. There were some standout ones, like we've spoken about, Florence Pugh, Sentry. I think the use of music within the film was very good, with the subverting the Marvel logo coming in, and as the color was bleeding from it, so was the main theme, so was like the supporting melodies, that was all coming out of it. When there were shots of the Avengers Tower that had been reclaimed by Val and her super squad.
Did any think it was Oscorp?
No,
because they said it was Oxcorp. I literally, for a minute, I was like, Oscorp, and then I realised, I was like, oh, fuck.
They wouldn't be able to use that.
No, I know, but I got giddy in the cinema.
When there was like a couple of like old Avengers stings, like the Avengers like main theme, in the shots of the Avengers Tower, and at the end when they came through the barrier and she like did the old bait and switch and announced them as the new Avengers, I really liked those musical stings. They were really nice. I liked how they didn't overuse the trailer pop song like Deadpool and Wolverine did. I really liked how it was incorporated.
Yeah.
And then which I think just added credence to that more like the darker theme that the film was going for. Yeah. What did you think, Craig?
Thank you, Joseph. Thanks for throwing it to me. So I gave it a 6.5. I really liked the film. Okay, I did like the film, and I liked what it was trying to do. I said as well that I don't think it executed everything, but what I will now say is what I think it did execute very well. And I may be agreeing with Andrew more on this side of things than the other two boys. But one, performances we've already talked about. That was a standout for me. That's probably the best part of the film for me, is the performances. However, what I did enjoy quite a lot about the film was the homages to either the previous iterations of the character they were trying to live up to, and also the Avengers themselves. For example, this is why I kind of was like verging off when Joseph was talking about the hallway scene. That is showing the mirror between, obviously, Yelena and Natasha, and the fact that she will eventually become the new Black Widow, all these kind of things. She's trying to live up to the sister. She's not living up to the sister. It's all part of her mental health kind of, or, ragtag, thing that's going on. There's also moments throughout the whole film, for example, with Wyatt Russell's character, with Captain America. There's homages to that. There's things that he does or says that alludes to that. I like that part too. Again, you're living up to the thing that you're not that thing. Who are you instead? That sort of thing was a lot going through the film. One moment that I wish they'd done more with, that they didn't quite do enough with, was when they were saving all the people, which, by the way, that was when the film... I turned to Paul at that moment. When they started saving the New York people, I turned to Paul and said, "It's coming together." That's when I was like, the film is... I get it now. I'm actually on par now. But the moment that I would just the moment that I kind of wanted more from, when they did save everybody, and then the big massive concrete slab fell, and they were standing there. I know that was alluding to the Battle of New York scene where the Avengers were standing there. I wanted more. I wanted them to actually be in that position and us to have that camera swing. I wanted that little moment.
But this is the point, though. They aren't that.
No, I know, but it's about the homage part.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm going, to me, that's a choice. It's not like they go, will we do that? Nah, well, this is fine. The whole theme throughout this movie is they are not enough. Yeah, they literally call him, what was it, the 50-cent store Captain America. She's not living up to being her sister. Ghost can't do fuck all right. Red Guardian hasn't been doing anything properly since the fucking Cold War. Even you can look at Val as a shitty knockoff Nick Fury. You get these homage things, and again, as you say, you get their New York Battle of New York thing. They aren't the Avengers. They aren't.
This is what I'm saying.
So to me, to get that moment and it be kind of shitty is because, these are the Avengers, but they're kind of shitty.
Fair point.
Like, to me, why I like this, and again, like, there's fun parts as well. Like, see, when you were talking about the big slab, I was going, when they pushed it over, I was going to imagine there was like somebody behind it. That would have been funny. but they couldn't do that, obviously. But to me, just like those moments, like when you got and there was a genuine shock moment in it. I don't know if your cinema did, but my cinema gasped when Red Guardian saves the wee girl.
Yeah.
And then she gets fucking dusted. I was like,
just marked immediately.
Yeah. Also, a shout out to, I believe it's the director. It's either the director or the cinematographer. They liked the concept of the shadows because they looked back at the things that happened at Hiroshima.
Bombings.
Really cool, really dark.
I don't know about what your cinema was like. Ours was, there was quite a lot of empty seats in ours.
That's IMAX.
Is it?
Literally, I've seen most IMAX movies, or most movies in IMAX. The only time I've ever seen an IMAX film was when Oppenheimer was in.
I've seen
because that was such an event movie. I'm not one seat left.
I tell you what, actually, the few times I've been in a sold out IMAX film was Force Awakens.
Yeah,
it's a little bit emptier by the time we got to Rise of Skywalker.
But that's what I'm saying though, is like it seems to be these like I don't know how cinemas are doing like financially and stuff. My guess is not well. But yeah, IMAX most times if I go see it, unless you go at like peak 8 o'clock on a Friday night, but even then it's never full. I genuinely think I've only been in the cinema once.
It was Dune for me. Oppenheimer, Dune, and actually Mission Impossible. The last Mission Impossible film, it was full.
Nice.
Yeah, those are the three I've been.
Also, I would also like to just point out that when Craig did lean over and say it's coming together, I misheard him and thought he said it's coming home, and I was really confused.
We've not been watching football.
Yeah.
I'm also not English. But
so
okay.
yeah, like to me, the other thing I want to talk about, and again, I feel as if we'll try not to argue, and we'll try not to get us heated. I felt like the action sequences were great.
I loved the action. I was going to say that too. There was 2 action sequences I really loved. Yeah.
So, we'll run through them. I love the opening where Yelena... I love the opening because, again, she was doing this in, like, joggy bottoms, talking about how she's just going through the motions, she gets her job, and I'm like, she's not even in, like, a super suit, she's in joggies, and she's went to do this, like, fucking skydive, which Florence Pugh actually did. And again, if you compare that to what she did in Black Widow, where it was all CGI, it's night and day. But yeah, so to me, I like the opening. It's a different variation of a hallway scene. We've had hundreds at this point: Daredevil, Guardians, Iron Man 2. I like the POV above, kind of foreshadowing the shadows that were to come from the Void. I love the stuff with, again, her comedy with the guinea pig and the scientist that shot himself. I thought it was such a fresh, fun opening. The battle in the furnace room where Yelena had to kill Ghost. Ghost had to kill Walker. Ghost had to kill Taskmaster. Taskmaster had to kill Walker, and Walker had to kill Yelena. I loved that. Really fun dynamics. I felt like we could have got more, but what we got was fun. In terms of, and I don't get where you're coming from, Paul, and I would love you maybe to explain it in a quick way. Taskmaster, who fucking cares? They were a nothing character in Black Widow, and again, it's nothing against the actor, it was just how it was shot. I would understand the want for her to get a better go of it if it was someone more notable, but I'm like, Taskmaster is a Spider-Man Black Widow villain that got used really badly in a Black Widow movie. Cool. If we've got nothing for them, bring them back, get them going.
Why bother having them in the film?
Well, it was the same way. What was the name? What was the your man in? What'd you call it? Suicide Squad.
Yeah, he killed them all at the start.
The
shit. Suicide Squad. With Will Smith.
Oh.
Was it Slipknot or something he was called?
Oh, yeah.
He was literally in the fucking movie for all of 3 minutes, but he did the entire world tour doing interviews and talking about it and stuff, but he was in the movie for all of like 4 minutes.
See, I don't mind that as much if the film then went on to be more like a Suicide Squad film, where
but it's not that, but again,
dying left, right, and centre.
But this is, but again, I feel as if
I think would have been a better film.
But I feel as if it wouldn't, because we've had that once badly and once well, and it was never ever dubbed as like Marvel. I think a lot of people, because it was like the anti-heroes or the villains, people automatically went for it's the Suicide Squad. But as soon as you started reading or hearing the reviews that came out from the previews, they were like, it's not Suicide Squad, it's more Guardians of the Galaxy. And I was like, yeah, I see that.
Oh,
it's people
this is not Guardians of the Galaxy. Not even by...
No, but in the sense of it's a team of people that realistically
misfits,
shouldn't be together. Yeah. The other action scenes, the one that I kind of alluded to, that was outside the Avengers Tower, where they were taking on all like the guards and stuff, and then Val's like, whoa, you fucked up my drywall that I've just built. The doors are open, just come up. The fight with Sentry was fucking brilliant.
I loved that. I really loved that fight scene.
Brilliant.
The fight with Sentry is what the whole film should have been. That's my only problem with it.
But what more could you do?
There's so much more you could have done.
This is what I said to him as well. This is what I said to him as well.
What more could... No, but mate, there's only so many times I can watch people... They literally make a joke earlier in the film. Again, I don't know if any of you's done it. Did any of you shout out about Emperor's New Groove?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yes.
Good. Right, cool. We can stay friends. Joseph, fucking read up on your...
When
they hook arms and they walk up the...
You don't hear me?
Up the lift.
No.
I
couldn't hear you, Craig, over the sound of the boy about 4 seats down laughing every sort of half second. I mean, I understand there's people that really enjoy Marvel, but I think he was taking the piss.
Was Andrew in our cinema?
No.
Shut up.
The Sentry fight for me, when they fought him in the bar, but I did like all the homages to the old sort of stuff, and I understand it was like the whole point was that it's not those, they're a little bit shitter because nobody wanted. I understand the themes. For me, I have a problem with... I like the choreography of them fighting Sentry and him just not giving a fuck about what they were all doing. For me, as action scenes that I enjoy, I think I'm far too aware of when like there was a heavy uses of CGI in it, and I just didn't enjoy it as much as when it has been fuller live action fight supplemented with CGI.
So this is where, and again, this is where I feel as if I'm having trouble with trying to defend this movie. I feel as if I'm defending it from 2 very different points of view. So there's a point where I've got Joseph saying that he wanted more of the fucking PTSD, like mind stuff, and less of the Sentry CGI bullshit. And then I've got Paul going, Superman CGI, like. I'm like, all right, I don't know where I'm looking and I don't know where I'm swinging. So, in terms of the Sentry stuff, I'm like, what they gave us, and again, I get what you're saying, like, there's a lot of stuff that you could clearly tell was CGI. I agree with that, but what they did with the fight, I liked it, like, the throwing Guardian out and bringing him back in, and Bucky taking his foot, right, but I can't remember who said it, I think it was Joseph. I thought Sebastian Stan was fucking great in this film. I don't know why he did. I don't know why they done the. I think it was just fucking to have. I don't know why he was a senator. It made no sense. And like realistically, who fucking cares? But I think it was just so that he could be in the position where he knew that Val was getting what was the word?
Impeached.
Getting, like fucking impeached. Yeah, I think he had to be there. But see the moment where he was like, the moment where he that was in the trailer. Where he chases them down and he's
that was fantastic
and blows everything up.
When he goes full Terminator.
Mate, I was like fucking S tier Marvel character, Bucky Barnes, absolutely brilliant. But the moment where he just took his leather jacket off to fight Sentry, I'm like, oh, he's mental. There's no way you're going to beat him. Loved it. I got excited, and that's what I want from a Marvel movie. I thought it was brilliant. In terms of like the knife, kind of like them trying to stab him and it breaking, and that was fun to me. I was like, that's what. But realistically, they talked about it in the lift, where they were like, right, how did none of us fly? Did we all just like punch and kick and shoot? Is that it? Again, making a joke about how shit they are. She then, the big Florence Pugh moment where she has her speech that we are nothing, we are just fucking what you wipe off your shoe. They can't compete with Sentry. They can't. So for it then to turn into a battle of him having these, and again, another lovely throwback to. They said it as well. The assistant to Val, we gave Captain America the serum, and good becomes great. We've had the I can't remember who else. It was Walker. Oh, he got it in Falcon and Winter Soldier. When you give it to Walker, he's egotistical and blah blah blah, so he becomes bad. You give it to a fucking mega depressed, fucking almost bipolar guy. This is what we get. It's brilliant. You're all
see, I really like that aspect of it, and like I like the aspect of using the super soldier serum.
Yeah,
just enhances everything, every quality, and that's something I've always loved about that aspect of it, because you can't have anything more than like Steve Rogers can only be great. I'm just gonna I'm right now, Paul. I'm stonewalling you.
It's not. Do you know what? Do you know what the best bit is? See when Paul goes to talk as well, because he goes like this and stretches, and I'm like, oh fuck, he's getting ready, man. I can see him.
It's not the super soldier serum though. It's not.
Yeah.
And
no, it's
my
not.
problem as well, and I don't know Sentry's backstory, but I'm like, if we have a serum that turns people into this, then like Doom's fucked. You know what I mean?
But
like
it's
He's
not, because Doom's more. Doom is a combination of technology and magic and stuff. Like Doom's
he's God. He's God.
It might not be the super serum, but the whole throughout the MCU from beginning to end, they've made it clear. We obviously had Captain America was the super serum. Red Skull was super serum. The Russians had Red Guardian, which was super serum. We also had Isaac, who was the original black Captain America. He had super serum. The Hulk was technically trying to figure out how to make super serum, and he became the Hulk. So it might not be super serum, soldier super serum in that sense. It is, though.
Yeah.
It's
Superman serum.
Whatever you want to say, Paul, but it made him. It made it, again.
Am
this
I
is
wrong?
why I liked. Yes.
Yeah.
This is
No,
why,
I'm not.
No, it's super serum that just so happened to. This is what the abilities that he got.
It's not super. It's not the same thing Cap and the rest of them got though. It's
I'm not saying
even
it
close.
No, that's what Andrew's saying. He's saying it isn't the same
I've literally just said that.
But they
I said
literally
this
know
is-
how to recreate it. So I'm like,
No, they don't.
there was nothing in
Paul.
it.
No,
They just
because
said
the
they
rest of them
destroyed the
died.
research.
Only one survived. So
Yeah.
it's not, yeah.
Yeah,
So they haven't.
but there's nothing to say they can't do it again.
Yeah, but
No,
that's
there is.
every
The
time.
big black floating man that made New York blackout is the reason that they will not do it again.
Yeah, but that was because he was mega depressed.
Now you're going against yourself.
Pushing a boulder uphill, man.
No, it's okay. So I was agreeing with you last night, Paul. You've kind of dug yourself a little bit of a hole for me. I no longer think there should have been like a Suicide Squad Redux sort of shit going on. I like the idea of a squad of people who cannot fight physically against this dude, because it's just, he's the final boss. You can't fight him at level 1. It's not going to work.
Can I also say we're going to get
we're
into
gonna...
predictions as well at the end of the thing in terms of where we're going to be into like Doomsday and stuff, and I think, Paul, you might be really happy with some of my predictions in terms of what we're going to get with these characters. But I want to kind of move us on from, so we've kind of spoke. Was there any other actions that I've missed? The saving sequence I really enjoyed.
I liked the bit when they were in Sentry's mind.
Yeah. No. Wait for that later. I want to talk about cinematography, and I want to talk about that then. No, in fact, go on now. You seem.
So I really liked the space that you find Bob in the heart of that, as that safe mental space for him, and it wasn't hit you over the head why he has the issues that he has. I found that actually quite tasteful in the way they depicted that. For me personally, I felt getting him out of that felt rushed, and I felt they could have spent more time with each of the characters and each of their own issues as a way to get.
I like the way they addressed that though. And
again,
you might not like it because it was like almost like a throwaway.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. Me criticizing it doesn't mean that I disliked it.
Yeah,
I did like it. I needed a bit more to be satisfied.
So the line I really liked was when obviously we see the memory. So this is essentially again, it's something that was very similar to what Scarlet Witch did in Ultron, where she kind of sent them somewhere. But this was obviously them reliving one of, if not the worst moment of each of their lives. Yelena's being, she kind of betrayed one of her friends when she was younger. And then there was another one where it was like she built a gun quicker than any of the other kids, and the kids got whipped. But there was a point where she comes back and, are you guys all okay? And it turns to Bucky and he's like, oh yeah, no, I've had a great fucking past life. Everything was peachy keen when I come down here. I like that because, again, we know Bucky's... Again, the people that we already knew the backstory and would probably care more about seeing their backstory, we already know what his past was. So we don't really need to see it.
We wouldn't have needed to see Bucky's because we've had like him in multiple films to do that.
Yeah,
I think it would have been nice to get... It would have been nice to have a bit for Red Guardian. It would have been nice to have a bit for Ghost.
Ghost, again, Red Guardian, I don't think we need it because Red Guardian, and again, I've seen somebody else say this and I kind of agree with it, but it just so happens that David Harbour and that type of humour is fucking funny to me. The moment where he turns up in his limousine and he's like, Yelena, don't go, and she's putting back. I was pissing my pants. I thought that was so fucking funny. And again, the faces clearly on the other three gentlemen, they didn't find it funny. I did. So, like,
are you sure you weren't in our screen?
Honestly, mate, I thought that was so funny. I'm like, he's so keen and he wants to be part of the team and he's a bad dad, and I honestly thought David Harbour was fucking hilarious in this film, and I want more of him.
I mean, yeah.
The rousing silence there seems like he's all fucking agree.
I like
Did
David
you not
Harbour.
find him funny?
I thought he was. I didn't laugh out loud at him. I did occasionally, but there was.
You miserable bastards!
I mean, yeah, but I wasn't like I didn't like hate it. I did think it was like hilarious. But I mean, what I was most impressed by, I think, was the Florence Pugh and his scene. We've kind of talked about it already, but that scene between him and Florence Pugh, that was what I. But that's really why I liked it, though, because he was thing.
Yeah, but I like
Paul,
that.
did I lean to you and say, why aren't they speaking in Russian, or is that a thought I only had in my head?
I think that might have been in your head, buddy, but I did hear it.
Because I just can't. I remember this is. I think this is just a thing for me.
We don't speak Russian, right? Let's not get. It's fucking Marvel.
Let's not go there, Joseph.
Marvel.
Let's not open that can of worms, Joseph.
I'm not. Okay, I'm not. I understand I'm being pernickety here, and I understand I'm splitting hairs. It was just something for me that kind of brought me out of the film.
Do the Wakandans not speak Wakandan though?
No,
they do. Yeah, and they're subtitled.
There you go. So
Joseph's right. Start of Black Panther.
Joseph's right. Joseph's right, and you should apologise to him, Andrew.
No, they don't. They speak English.
No, the start of Black Panther, like when young T'Chaka goes to see the brother, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but the whole film's not subtitled.
They speak English.
No. You're not picking me up right.
There's been times that they've spoke Russian once or twice. You don't need them. We know listen to their wonderful Russian accents. We know they're Russian. They're speaking English so we can enjoy the film. It's Marvel. Why are we talking about what language they're speaking?
Because there's...
Right. I need to move on from this point as well, right? I found David Harbour... what you said, Craig, I agree with. I think the moments where it was like the really poignant and heartfelt moments, but I liked that because he was a fuck-up and he was this goofy fucking idiot. But in that moment where he knew she needed him, and she made the joke, oh, actually, that was really good, well done. Yeah, because you're shit at what you do, but you fucking came through on this one. I really liked it. In terms of the cinematography, I loved the whole thing with Bob, where he's like, oh, this is just the nicest room. It's quietest, and she's like, oh, we need to go to the worst rooms to get out of here. I loved the use of like how they moved from room to room, where it almost like followed them like through the floor or through the mirror or whatever it was.
I loved the painted backdrops, and it wasn't like it wasn't like on a green screen. It was like those were clearly sort of sets that they painted for and that, and I thought that was lovely.
The thing that I really enjoyed as well, it's another action set piece that I thoroughly enjoyed, but the moment where we see Bob take on the Void physically, I didn't see what was coming in terms of the Void wanted him to do this, and it started to kind of take him over more and more and more. And then when Florence Pugh was like kind of jumping over, I was like, yeah, this is the fucking spy shit I'm here for. I liked it. And then again, I get if on paper, how did they defeat the film, or how did they defeat the villain with a hug? Yeah, that's dumb. I agree, that's dumb. But quite literally,
it's the point of the film.
There's been times where me personally, a hug, it helps. Like having that comfort and having that person,
it's
knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to kind of get too deep into the fucking weeds here, but yeah, there's times where like I'm like, you need that kind of physical touch, and you need that comfort to know that you're not, everything's not as bad as it is. And again, like, yes, you could have maybe divulged more and seen him getting abused and stuff. Look, he obviously grew up where his dad beat his mum, and he's tried to defend his mum, and his mum's had a go at him. That's fucked up. He was a meth addict that was a chicken-dressed sign flipper. He's not had a good life, and you've given him super serum that has just fucking pumped that up to 11. I liked it. I got emotional watching that bit where I was just like, because even for Florence Pugh makes a joke. Oh, you can trust me? And he's like, really? And she's like, nah. She's a lone wolf. She always has been. The one person that she did have, Natasha, died. Her dad's not there for her. Her mum's not there for her. She doesn't have anybody. So for her to now kind of be protective over Bob and stuff, I liked it. I thought it was heartfelt. I thought it worked. You two can fight with who wants to talk first.
Paul, on you go. On you go.
Okay. I am not saying that is not a great thing when
Paul
someone's
hates depression. Paul hates depression.
When someone is in need and they get a hug and that a piece of affection. Yes, lovely. It's not what I want from my hardened mercenary group taking on evil Superman. I didn't mind like the cinematography and that idea of them taking them. The idea of taking them to that sort of, I don't know, Scarlet Witch world, but that is not how I wanted them to take on evil Superman. I don't like Battle of the Mind unless it's like Professor Xavier or something like that, because then it just becomes a bit of a, how are we going to beat the we got to beat him in the world of the mind, and too many things to it, and I don't like it.
So Paul, I understand what you're saying.
Good.
There have been 2 films and 1 game where you can get what you want from this. A team of ragtag ne'er-do-wells who do the thing that they want to do. I don't think there's a game. I don't think there's a game that. I don't think the game gives me what I want. No.
What are the games?
There's the Suicide Squad game.
Oh, it's awful. It's utterly shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never played it, so
it's so bad.
Okay.
Let's give you characters with abilities, but they all just shoot guns. Fuck.
So I what I'm hearing, Paul, is if you want a battle of a mind, but you only want the person who's fully equipped to do that sort of battle, i.e. Professor X or Scarlet Witch. Okay. So you want a walk in the park.
No, it feels like a cop-out, is what it is. That's what it is. You had this chance to get all these people. That is the draw of this film. You have a group of mercenaries without powers or with very limited powers taking on
How do they beat him? How do they beat him? Right.
With a hug.
Paul, for the final time, he's not Superman.
He
has similar abilities.
For
he's
all
not,
intents and purposes, Superman.
Right.
He is.
This is Paul, I love you, right? But this is my issue with you in fucking movies, right? You go in wanting to fucking hate these films. You go in wanting to come out here and moan about them, right? And you go in so fucking stubbornly going, this is what I think and expect it to be. It's not. That's it.
And I am telling you, no, what I am telling you is I didn't go in thinking that's what the film should be.
Did you go in wanting to hate this film?
Yes. But I went in going, okay, if a film is so good, it's getting like all these 90 scores, surely it will convince me. And it didn't. And I think
That's
it would
fine.
have. And I'm giving you the reasons why. And I'm saying if the film had been more like this, I would have liked it.
Hey, I've
That
had
is
my
what I
hand
am
for ages,
saying.
Joseph. I've had my hand for ages.
Yeah, Craig has been waiting.
I've got a quip, Craig, and then it'll
for it.
move to you. I reckon Paul is the only person in the world who's on the fence about Marmite, because he hears either you love it or you hate it, and this boy can't be told what he's going to do, so he's like, I'm going to be on the fence.
No, I guarantee he hates it. He's just fucking that's his automatic. It's just no. Craig.
So, I mean, we've established this week that Paul doesn't believe in mental health, and we've established last week that Joseph's a misogynist. So, you know, it's
I remember that. That was
so. No. I don't really know what kind of podcast we're doing here anymore, lads. And I don't know whether I want to stay with these two lads on this podcast. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. You do you. You both do you. No, I think. So the problem with Paul's opinion, rather, is that...
Oh, I was going to say that's a whole other can of worms. But,
So, as Andrew has said, right, at the for most of this podcast, is that Paul's got him with a mindset of a certain way, but also that this wasn't what he expected or what he wanted. And Paul is reviewing this film from that standpoint, right? Rather than looking at the film that we actually got and how good that was executed. So, Paul, you're saying you wanted the ragtag
don't try
team
and psychoanalyze me on the
Hang
pod.
on, hey, I gave you your time. Let's just let I think you need this. I think you need this, Paul. All right. So, so Paul, you have reviewed this film from the standpoint of I wanted to see a ragtag team take on Superman. That wasn't what this film was. This film was a group of misfits who are not in any way lived up to what they thought they were, or who they thought they were, or who people who were their version of whatever, you know, like Captain America or Black Widow. It's all that, okay? And they've got their own issues going on. They've got their own mental health issues going on. And Sentry is essentially the best villain for... I said this at the time. This was the best villain for these characters in this film. This film actually was... And again, Joseph might not agree with me, but I thought this film actually was quite well thought out. In terms of, there was definite care here. In terms of the plot, in terms of Easter eggs, in terms of what they were trying to do. Whether they actually executed that, the mental health aspect, to its full potential, I agree, I'm not so sure. I think they could have pushed that further. I think they could have gone more for that. But there was definitely an attempt and I said a degree of care to get to that point. And again, Paul, this is what the film was. The question you need to ask yourself was, do you think they achieved that? And if the answer is no, that's fine. But you can't be coming at this film for the fact that it wasn't what you thought it was. Because you're right, it wasn't what you it wasn't what you thought it was, because it wasn't that film. So you need to review it from that standpoint, not what you wished it was.
What you need to understand.
This is what WWE fans do.
What you need to understand is I am trying to bestow upon all of you what the superior film would be. And I am trying to tell you why.
He's fantasy booking.
No, the film we got, I am always happy to be pleasantly surprised by a film, and that is not what I got from this film.
Do you know what? We need to take the fact that he enjoyed Daredevil and just hold on to that feeling, because it's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again.
By the way, plenty of mental health stuff in Daredevil. I loved that, so we'll just put a line under that a little bit.
Because you've not went into it going, oh, Daredevil better fight Superman. Like,
excuse me. I went into that expecting not to like Daredevil, and I did a 180. Thank you very much. I did a 180.
But that's not what I'm saying. But okay.
I know we have kind of overrun and stuff, so I want to kind of like start kind of summarizing our thoughts and stuff. To me, the thing that's confusing me the most is Joseph, you seem to be overall more positive than you are negative. And for me,
yeah,
if that is the case, I still feel as if a 5 is just too low. Because to me, if there's more good than bad, then it's good. Doesn't mean it's fuck it. This is the whole point, and this is why I want to really establish, like, again, very funny, Paul, but when you were like, how can you put this close to Sinners? It's not close to Sinners to me, because 10, this isn't like, for me to go from a 5 to a 4, or sorry, a 4 to a 5 is a lot easier than going from a 9 to a 10. I think you need to be, that 10 is like fucking high. So to me, if you're saying it's okay or it's good, to me, if you outweigh positively to what you didn't like about it, then that's an automatic 6.
It's not a case of, like, I see where you're coming from. That's why I'm kind of on that 5.5 sort of thing. I think for me, the reason I'm going with that is I didn't enjoy the comedy in the film.
That's fair.
I didn't enjoy the pacing of the film.
One moment.
Can I just to jump in on that? This flew in for me. This did not feel like 2 hours to me.
Apart from,
I thought the pacing was great. I thought the editing was great.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm really glad you both jumped in, because this is where it comes down to matters of opinion and matters of personal taste. So the reason why it's a 5.5 for me is that I found myself feeling like the film was dragging in the first act, and I felt like a lot of the comedy beats were just too quippy for my personal taste. I found that some of the jokes either lasted a little bit too long or didn't quite land. For me personally, I felt that there were some scenes. I do, because I know one of you is going to jump in.
But I'm not going to jump in and say, like, again, you saying to me, the comedy didn't hit for me. I'm going, cool, that's fine. Whereas the times that I've took umbrage with what you've said is when you've went, I wanted more, and I'm like, that's big. Be specific.
So I found myself realizing during watching this film that this genre of film is not for me anymore.
Good
I don't get in terms of superhero films. Yeah. When we saw the big IMAX trailer for Superman, I was nonplussed. When we saw the big trailer for Fantastic Four, I was nonplussed. It's not a case of, oh, I think this looks shit. I was like, yeah, someone's going to like that. I just realized that this genre of film is no longer for me. Bringing it down to that sort of, I'm not really enjoying what I'm watching. I'm not hating it. I don't think the Thunderbolts was a load of shit. It's clear that I completely agree with what Craig just said about, like, they have really tried. I just feel that instead of sticking the landing fully in terms of what they were wanting to set out and achieve, they've landed. But I think there was a bit of turbulence coming into the runway.
Did you see Cap?
No, Cap. I didn't.
No Cap.
No.
I don't know. Just
because
to me,
I watched the trailer. I was not enthused whatsoever about the trailer.
Yeah, that's fine. Again, like, to me, it's I think it's okay. I judge it less because I know the background of it. It had to be rewritten so many times, and there was obviously, like, writer strikes and all that kind of shit and blah blah blah. So I kind of give it a pass. Like, I think I've always said there are no bad MCU movies. I think if and when I rewatch that, I'll go, look, this is a bad film, but there are outlanding circumstances for that. To me, this film is a really well-told, self-contained story, where I disagree with what you said earlier. It was like a stepping stone to something else. I disagree. I think it took a natural kind of step for where those characters are and what, because they all, I don't know how many of the series you've watched, Joseph or Craig or Paul, but Walker worked with Val, Yelena had dealings with Val. The only one that we didn't see was the other two, Taskmaster and Ghost, but it makes sense that they would be, because they were also, well, Taskmaster was a mercenary, Ghost not so much, but it would make sense that she became one and to do these jobs because of her abilities and stuff like that. To me,
where were they all from again?
What do you mean?
Where were they all seen originally with Val?
So Captain America US Agent was in the Falcon Winter Soldier series. Yelena was an after credit scene for the Black Widow movie. And then, as I say, the other two weren't. They weren't situated well. Why?
It's an awful lot of homework to know where everybody's coming from.
But again, to me, that's for me. I've done the homework. I've watched it all, so that's fun to me. Where I go, oh, these strings are starting to kind of meet together.
I'd also argue
in terms of
does enough. I think the film does enough to, if you hadn't seen.
Yeah.
I personally.
But that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, because again, to me, it was like, okay, these are 4 mercenaries. One just happens to kind of dress like Captain America, and one is somewhat related to Black Widow. They're 4 mercenaries that have worked for false Nick Fury, and now she's trying to kill. Like, to me, I'm going, it's a very simplistic fucking like plot. I don't think you needed to know. But as I say, for me, I get the extra bonus because I did the homework. I don't feel as if you had to watch that to completely. I think it would have benefited. Yes, I think you would have went in knowing these characters more and maybe having, like, to me, like the whole Walker one especially. Walker's a piece of shit. I fucking hated him in Falcon Winter Soldier. I'm now kind of like, yeah, I kind of look forward to seeing him now when he comes back in Doomsday. Like I
did think the film made him quite more interesting than what he got in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
because there's a scene in Falcon and Winter Soldier that I really enjoyed. It was the one where in the back of the truck, and they're talking about the actual mission.
Wingman kind of thing.
No. It was like a bit where they're like, oh, you're like a decorated war hero, and he's like, yeah, but they don't actually tell you what the steps that I had to take to become that. It's like a really, really well written scene.
But this is the fun thing is he, by all intents and purposes, probably idolized Captain America. He done all the right steps in terms of the military and all that kind of stuff. But it just shows you that Captain America was 1 in a million. Captain America was the one that got good to great. And yeah, to me, my biggest takeaway from this film was it made me interested in characters that realistically we're all looking at going, who the fuck cares about these people? I adore Yelena. Now, Yelena's a different story because people really liked her. She's fantastic. I can't wait to see her again. I can't wait to see Red Guardian again. Sebastian Stan again. Another. But I'm like, if I get to see Ghost and US Agent again, cool. I'm looking forward to that. Now, to round up, I wanted to just finally talk about the 2 after credit scenes. The first one was just a fun wee throwaway where Red Guardian's trying to get a woman to buy a Wheaties box. I found that funny.
Was the one. That was the one I liked. That was the one I liked. That was the joke for me for the whole thing.
But again, to me, it's a throwaway one. We don't really need to bother about that. I'm quite glad that was the first one, though. I don't like when they have that as the very last one.
Agree.
Because I'm like, I don't need to see that. I can go. So it's smart to have that there. In terms of, so this was the longest ever after credit scene. I think this is one of the best Marvel after credit scenes that they've done, because it not only continues the story for what we've just had, it kind of leads us up to where these characters are going to go and gives us a tease for the next movie, which is what I want from an after credit scene. And the stuff I liked about the after credit scene, to me, and tell me if you guys picked this up or if you think I picked it up wrong, the fact that they had David Harbour coming in with a big tracksuit and the sponsorship logos, and it's like, oh, we are the Avengers, like it. But I'm going, the suits they're actually wearing look so fucking like fake.
Corporate.
Do you know what I mean?
Corporate.
Yeah, like corporate. That's a perfect way to describe it. Yeah, they are the corporate Avengers, where it was like they had the logo that kind of looked like the Avengers A, but isn't the Avengers A. And then they obviously were like, oh, now he's come in and he's like, oh, he's wearing all the hats. He's got the cup, the bag. He's got, like, to me, I enjoyed that because the whole thing about like Florence Pugh, she wants to be her sister. She wants to be an Avenger. She said to Val in the film, I don't want to keep doing this behind the scenes bad stuff. I want to be seen and I want to help people and I want to be good. She's now, the line she says something like, what do they mean we're not the Avengers? The government have said we're the Avengers. That again goes back to Thunderbolt Ross wanted to put on, he wanted the Sokovia Accords, he wanted them all to agree to work under the government. He also wanted Sam, and this is obviously spoilers for Captain America, Brave New World. He wanted Sam to put an Avengers team to work with General Ross. Now Yelena's got her, or Val's got her one. Sam's got his one, which I'm going, I want to see that. There's a bit where Yelena goes, I thought you were going to speak to Sam, and he went, I did. It didn't go well. I want to see that conversation. This is what an after credit's supposed to do. And then, as I say, it teased Fantastic Four.
And then they ruined Fantastic Four, yeah. But
how? Right. This is how I'm going to end it, right?
No.
I'm going to give you each.
Not again.
I'm going to give you each 30 seconds to a minute to tell me how it's ruined Fantastic Four. What do you now know after seeing this after credit scene that you didn't know before?
If you watch the Fantastic Four, you will know Galactus is the main villain. You know that there's gonna be some jiggery-pokery with the extra dimensions. So he's gonna be eating everything, he's either make some mention in the trailer about something about sending the signal kind of thing out. So either that's destroying the rest of the universe or destroying Earth, and they have to escape. So they're escaping through a wormhole into 619.
6. So Paul confirms he knows nothing new. Anybody else?
On you go, Craig.
On you go, Joseph.
No. After you, sir.
Listen, don't be a shite bag. Take your walloping. Let's do it. What do you know now that you didn't know before?
I don't disagree with your point, Andrew. This is why I'm finding it difficult to articulate, because I don't actually disagree with what you're saying. I actually agree that we do know what's going to happen, but I just would have. Again, maybe I'm doing a poll here, but I just
fantasy booking.
Yeah, I just
Craig, you wanted a certain other kind of teaser, but that's not the teaser we got. And you should learn to appreciate the teaser we got.
Hey, I can't
it.
argue with that. I can't argue with that, and he's right. So maybe I can just say I didn't like it, and that's it, and that's fine. But there was nothing wrong with it, as Andrew says.
But we didn't learn anything new. Joseph, did you learn anything new about the Fantastic Four that we didn't already know?
Yeah, the new logo's shit.
Oh, how dare you! I love the logo. It's so good. Right. Here's a question then, just to finish off. Right. Clearly, you guys hated it. Clearly, especially fucking Paul. Craig, you're very much kind of middle, but almost liked it. Joseph, you.
I'm just underwhelmed.
Do you know the thing is, right? I think you can be underwhelmed and still give it a good score. I think you could, to me, because again, if I'm being honest, when it was said best movie since Avengers, I disagree. I still think Guardians is better, and I think Spider-Man's better.
No Way Home is still the top for me, I think.
No Way Home, I kind of cheat it because I'm going, it's nostalgia and it's technically like an Avengers level movie, but again, No Way Home to me is better. Guardians is 3 is better. I fucking adore that film. I recently watched Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's great. I think this is just as good as Shang-Chi.
I will say on the topic of No Way Home, I think it's, and I hate saying this, it doesn't get better with rewatches, because that immediate that hit of nostalgia in the cinema was what made it so great. I still think that Infinity War is the best film.
I've not actually rewatched No Way Home, so that's interesting.
Since Endgame, but again, you're not gonna to me. Spider-Man was special. My cinema was cheering and stuff. It's not going to get better than that, but it's going to go from an 11 to a 9, which is fine because nine's amazing, or incredible. Yeah. So to me, the question I want to ask you guys, right, Joseph, you says that these movies are not for you anymore, which is fair enough. Paul, you've made that abundantly clear for the entire time that we've done the With Mates podcast.
This hasn't been for me for a while, and continues to go in that trend.
For you.
We're still finding something that Paul likes. We'll get there. Craig, I'll start with you then. In terms of, has this done anything for your anticipation for Fantastic Four?
I was always looking forward to it, so I'm not I wouldn't say it's decreased my interest or increased it. Yeah, I'm quite happy. I don't think I'm out by any means, for sure. I think what I'm probably going to do is that after Secret Wars, I'll probably make a judgment call on whether I'm out or not, whether I feel like this is the time to leave.
That's so funny, brother. We're still doing this podcast. You're never out. Joseph, are you any more, any less?
I'm actually a little bit less excited for Fantastic Four. I like the Fantastic Four. I remember liking the other films.
They're terrible.
When I was wee.
They're
terrible. And I remember
right.
I did go
so
back and rewatch them. They're awful.
This is the other thing. Go back and watch these films, right? See, when you're telling me these films are like fucking Thunderbolts is bad, go back and watch the original Daredevil. Go back and watch Fantastic
Four. I'm fully aware.
Yeah,
I cannot watch the original Daredevil because of Bullseye. What the fuck is not good? One of my favorite one of my favorite Spider-Man storylines is when he teams up with a Fantastic Four and he becomes like Paper Bag Man. I love that. I remember being really sold on the casting for Fantastic Four, and the more I'm seeing them, the more there's just a little worm of doubt coming in. Like, I think Vanessa Kirby's going to be fantastic as the Invisible Woman. I think Pedro Pascal is Mr. Fantastic. I don't think he's going to fully be Mr. Fantastic, at least until Secret Wars. Joseph Quinn, the jury's still out for me.
You don't like the casting, I know that.
Bring back Michael Chiklis.
Bring
back the Chiklis.
Not bring back. We need to stop living with nostalgia goggles.
If you've ever known a man that is definitely going to be fucking Abe Simpson shaking his hand at the sky, it's fucking Paul Stirrett. Paul Stirrett is that old man on the porch that is like, if your ball goes in his garden, you're not getting it back. Like, Paul, are you going to see Fantastic Four?
Paint my chicken coop.
Fair enough. Good answer. I love it.
Yes, I'll go see it. Yeah,
it's coming with us.
Do you want to?
We're all going to see it. Let's do it.
No, but
we're all going to see it.
Regardless of whether we are or not, are you interested in wanting to? Is there a want for you to see it?
There's like an overwhelming drive for me to want to go eventually see Doomsday, but I'm not excited about this. No,
about Doomsday.
Really Doomsday. I wouldn't. I don't know. Let's not go crazy. I don't know if I'm excited, but I'm intrigued about Doomsday. But Fantastic Four. I can't say I'm like fussed one way or another. I want them to do Mole King. Do Mole Man.
I think
give us Mole Man.
I think you might get that. I am super excited for Fantastic Four. This has kind of made me more excited, as I've obviously really enjoyed Thunderbolts, coming off of the Captain America movie, which obviously wasn't as good. This kind of like was a solid 8 out of 10 for me that I enjoyed and stuff. I think casting wise, I think they've nailed it. I think Pedro Pascal will be a wonderful Mr. Fantastic. I think Joseph Quinn might steal the entire movie because I think he's going to be so good. Vanessa Kirby, I always forget his name, but your man that's playing the thing, he's got a fucking weird name. Cousin, I'm just going to keep calling him.
Evan Barrack Moss.
Yeah, Barrack Moss. I think he'll do a good job. But I am buzzing for the guy that's going to voice Galactus as well. Your man for The Office.
Reese
and
what's his name?
Reese Iverson.
I've forgotten his name.
Reese Iverson.
No. It's
Richard Dreyfuss.
It's not Richard Dreyfuss.
It is
Ralph
Ineson.
Ralph Ineson.
Yeah, Ralph Ineson. And then you've got Julia Garner as the variation of the Silver Surfer. I'm super excited. I don't think the after credit scene ruined anything. I knew we were going to get the Fantastic Four either coming to this universe or somehow joining it. We have guessed and surmised that planet might die. We don't know that for certain still. Like, they could defeat Galactus and then come here because Doom helped them defeat Galactus, but then Doom says he's going to kill everyone. We don't know. It's all just guessing and predicting at this point. But to me, I really enjoyed this film. I'm so excited for Fantastic Four. I think the Thunderbolts might be fodder for Doom. So I think you'll get your wish, Paul. I think everybody other than Florence Pugh, if they've got a brain, I think they might all bite that. Ghost is definitely gone. Walker's definitely gone.
Winter Soldier.
Oh, I hope not. He won't. If he does go, he won't.
Oh, he's
but
he's old Yeller at this point.
No,
it's
I
time
know,
to take him
won't,
out back.
He won't go in the same kind of swish of the hand. Yeah,
I've a new prediction for Sebastian Stan's exit of the MCU.
Go on.
I did see somewhere that there's rumors of Chris Evans reprising a role as a variant Captain America, like Agent like
Hydra
Captain Hydra.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. I wonder if he does, that's how Bucky dies.
That'd be cool.
It's like a takedown of that where you know he gets to be a hero again. Because I think Sebastian Stan's been in it for quite a while now, and
he's the longest standing one. He's the only him, and I can't remember who else, but it's him and somebody else.
Surely Hemsworth has been in it.
No. So the only
it must be Samuel L. Jackson.
Hemsworth. No, as it's Hemsworth are the only ones that have been from phase 1 to phase 5.
And isn't Samuel L. Jackson still in it?
Fury, Secret Invasion was phase 4.
So they're not using Fury anymore?
No, he's still in it, but in terms of he's not been in anything in phase 5. But
right, okay.
We've had Bucky in every phase since the MCU started, which is really cool. Hemsworth isn't because of phase 5 as well. Love and Thunder was in phase 4. But there is somebody else, and I can't think who it was. I read a tweet. But yes, that is all for this week, unless any other thoughts before we finish it, because this is a bumper episode. Final ratings. I'm sticking with 8. I think it could go up the next time I watch it. I would another thing for me. If somebody says I've not seen Thunderbolts, do you want to come with me? I'd be like, yep, I'll happily go watch that film again. And I look forward to it coming to Disney Plus, and I will watch it again.
Hey Andrew, you want to go see Thunderbolts?
8. Yeah. As long as you promise me not to say the word Superman, yeah, I'll go see it. Joseph,
I'm sticking with 5.5. 5.5.
You bitch, you fucking bitch. I was adamant you were going to give me a 6.
Good on you, Joseph. Don't let him bully you into
this is nothing. This is nothing about taking sides. This is just I think I am rating it. It's an okay film.
But we know.
Well, you're giving it a 5.5, so it's okay, but on the side of good. And I'm taking that as well. I actually think 5.5 might be a positive review on Rotten Tomatoes. So
I would say it's a positive review. I've never said that this film is awful.
It's just because you fucking align with Paul Stirrett, man, and just that boy's takes.
Don't let the bad boy drag me down. Like
I don't know where your fist is, Joseph, but fist bump me. Where are you?
I'm not going to.
They were fist bumping.
I'm not going to fist you.
They were fist bumping.
Paul, stop asking me to fist you, please.
They were fist bumping throughout that entire film. It was insufferable.
There was fist bumping going on.
Yeah.
Paul, what's your final score?
I'm sticking with a nice hard 4. It
nice.
Was based purely on the performances, but yeah, this was not my favourite. Good performances, by the way. That's why I got it for it. Otherwise, it would be lower.
Craig Andrew Mooney.
I want to piss off Paul and say it's gone to a 7, but I can't. It's 6.5. It's almost great, but I can't say it's great.
I feel like I might ban 0.5s very soon.
Nah, they're
useful.
Choice.
They're useful.
They're not useful.
Otherwise, I'd give it a 6.
I like
you want me to give it a 6?
It's a coward's way out.
All I know is I picked it in the draft, and it's currently sitting at is it 95?
So
95%.
Remind me, I handed this as a Joker.
No, I had this as a Joker. You had this as a counter pick.
So
I gain
you're gonna lose
30 points. You lose 30 points. Now, what I will say is I lost 36 points. No. 34 points or something. I lost points on Black Bag because I counterpicked that and it got like a 95. So I lost a lot of points. I lost like 30 plus points. However, my films are starting to roll in. I have a 95% Joker score with Thunderbolts, and I've got a 98% with Sinners.
It'll drop.
So
It'll drop.
It won't. I'm back in the game in terms of that, and I think my next film coming out is Mission Impossible, which we will also be reviewing.
You're going to get a big score for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for that, and it looks fucking brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to that. But that's all for this week's catch-up. It has been a bumper episode. We've got to review Sinners. We've got to review Thunderbolts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Where do you sit? It is a very ranged reviewing system. I'm an 8. Boone's a 6.5. Paul's a 4. And Craig is a 6.5. So let us know, where do you align? Did you enjoy Thunderbolts? Have you seen Thunderbolts? What was your favourite part? Who did you think was the best actor in it? I said Florence Pugh. The guy said Lewis Pullman.
Flo Poo.
Flo Poo, exactly. Flo Poo. Pew, 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 pew. If you've seen that video, we can be friends. But yes, let us know in the comments section what you thought of the MCU. Are you excited for the Fantastic Four? Are you excited for Doomsday? Put in all your predictions below. Get involved in the conversation. Our next podcast will be The Last of Us episodes 3 and 4. Craig, you kind of put in the chat that episode 3 didn't have a lot to talk about. I could not disagree more. There is so much to talk about in episode 3. Boone, have you watched it yet?
Yes.
We have lots to talk about because there's some things that are different. But we will get to that when we get to that. That will be coming later this week. Our Andor review will be maybe, is that next week?
Yep.
2 weeks away? Who knows? We'll be doing a full season.
2 weeks away.
Full season review on that. And just out of interest, what is the next movie that will it be Mission Impossible?
Yeah, it will be Mission Impossible. And I can talk about that too,
is it
guys.
Mission Impossible, or is there one before it?
I think it's Mission Impossible is our next film that we're reviewing.
Let me check.
Meanwhile, while you check,
is that the next big one?
Yeah. For the listeners, there will be a ranking list episode for all the Mission Impossible films which we are all currently watching. We'll also be doing a wee vote for you, lovely listeners and watchers. So please keep an eye out on the social medias for that, where you can vote for what you think is the best Mission Impossible film, and we'll read the title on the show, and we'll see if what you pick matches what we end up picking with our ranking list.
Yeah, I need to get on that, by the way, because I've not started yet, but I will probably start it tonight. There are a few films that are coming out in between. We've got the Final Destination movie is out, and then we've got the Mission Impossible movie. So if I get to see Final Destination, our TikTok does our non-spoiler review, so there might be a wee video up for that. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Get involved in the conversation. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel, With Mates Podcast, and make sure you're following along at With Mates Pod on all social media platforms. Joseph, where can they find you?
The lovely people can find me in the slowly reconverted social medias, where you can send me all of your opinions about my thoughts on Thunderbolts. Please reply to me and email and whatever at Stirrit Story on Instagram.
And he is the Smacky Smacks. Paul, where can they find you?
Find me in the void that is my Stirrit Instagram story. What? My Instagram at Stirrit Story, where you can send me all your messages about why I'm totally right about both Thunderbolts and Sinners.
Yeah, look at the score. Craig, where can they find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms. It's at Craig Andrew Mooney.
And if you want to follow me, I'm at Andalf the Grey, but as I say every week, I don't want your follow, don't follow me, fuck off, and follow the With Mates podcast. That's where I want you to follow, at With Mates Pod, on all social media platforms. Get involved in the conversation, let us know what you want us to be reviewing, let us know what you're thinking of our reviews so far. Get involved in the conversation. Come at me, come at Joseph, come at Craig, and come on Paul. That's what we want from you, lovely listeners and viewers.
I don't want that, Andrew. I don't want that. I'm not asked for that. I didn't sign up for that.
No. Listen. Editing that gets the conversation. And let us know, how many people do you think it would take to defeat a gorilla? That's what we really want to know. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Let's on a Gonna
need to buy some towels.